Hello and welcome to Season of War. Just coming in with a little bit of a different style of video, obviously. No battle right here. But just wanted to give you guys a behind the scenes look at what's going on, as well as kind of updating you about the channel, what we're working on, and kind of what's coming up next. As well as wanting to answer a bunch of questions that we get about different things about the channel, how we operate, setup, and all that. So I thought I'd start off by giving you guys a little bit of a tour of our studio, I guess we'll call it. So as you can see, we've got the table all set up currently for a match tonight. Zach's coming down and we're doing a game of Odur-Maw tribes versus kind of an Alarith style Lumineth list. So just set up the terrain and that for that. So just looking at the setup, lighting wise, we have just 3 soft boxes, 2 of them on big C stands over there. And then this one I have just mounted from the roof, as well as our beautiful curtain. Yeah, so pretty simple lighting setup, just trying to get good lighting from all different angles so that no matter where we're standing or filming models, they're kind of well lit from all angles. As you can see, just pretty good even lighting everywhere, which is obviously super important for getting high quality, good shots. Obviously, we've gotten a ton of feedback about our table, way more than I ever expected. This is just a table that I built kind of to fit our needs. Big feature, obviously, that I really wanted was getting, having a 6-inch border so that we could put models, dice, whatever. Obviously, we had dice trays and drink holders, which these were all 3D printed. This little studio setup is actually at my work, and I have a bunch of 3D printers here, so able to just do that myself, which makes it nice and easy. But yeah, and then other big feature I wanted was the 2-inch drop to the table, again, so dice aren't falling out, that kind of thing. As well, when we are filming kind of our hero shots at the end of rounds or at the end of our turns, it lets us, when we're on a downward angle, it's a little easier to crop out the background. If you look at some of our older videos, a lot of the shots you'll see even more kind of the players and whatever's going on in the background off the table, which isn't the most thematic. So it helps us a little bit get shots where it's just limiting kind of the background noise, which is obviously all good. But looking at the table, so it's nothing too fancy. It's a lot of 2x4s. Underneath, oh, this is weird. So it's basically built in 2 full separate pieces. The legs and that frame there is completely separate. Obviously now permanently screwed in, well, semi-permanently. This is our lovely friend who you've probably met and won't leave me alone now. Okay, so Maverick, sit. Good boy. So this is Maverick, one of the 2 shop dogs. The other one being Zelda. Okay, buddy. Okay. So Maverick is 10 months old, and he's the one you always hear chiming in and talking during our videos. And Zelda is the nice, quiet, calm, mature 8-year-old little one. So anyways, looking at the table, it's nothing too crazy. I'm not going to go into depth about how I built it here, though do expect that in a future video. I'm going to be building another table for Alex actually at his place, as well as wanting another one here just for when we do multiple games and different events and that kind of thing. Obviously having a couple more nice ones would be great. I recently put this platform on the bottom. Okay, Maverick, chill out. I recently put this platform on the bottom just to help with storage. Obviously we have 3 bins of terrain here of the different tables that we have, as well as model storage. So and this is like Alex's flesh eater torts and stuff. And then if we go around the other side, lighting's not great, but you can see this is just bins of Sylvaneth and Idoneth stuff. Yes, Maverick is a camera hog. So yeah, that's pretty much rough look at the setup. We also have this shelf here is all kind of a mismatch of models, Lumineth stuff, whatever is too big for containers, equipment, and then more terrain and whatnot, as well as some gear. So looking at our camera setup, the top down is obviously kind of some of the bread and butter of what we do. So up here, it's a Sony A7S II. So nice camera. We've had it for a while. Shoots 4K, but that's overkill for kind of the battle reports. So we shoot in HD. And there's a mic attached there. And that's actually the mic we use right now for recording all the audio for our games. We had some lav mics, one of which I'm using now, but one of the setups actually kind of conked out. So we had to revert back to this, but able to clean up the audio a little bit in post, so that's helped. But yeah, so that's kind of our main camera. And then I'm using our secondary camera, which is normally mounted up here with this little monitor. And that gives us kind of the side profile view, as well as you can see some of the notes that I've given myself to remember to talk about and all that kind of thing. And then we have a third camera over here, which is an A7 III, Sony again. This is what we've been using lately to get all our hero shots. Using the slider, you know, kind of nice, able to get those sweet pans and good looks at models. It's obviously a bit of gear to get this all set up and running. I'm using the side camera right now, obviously, to record this. But it's kind of a brief look at everything. And then this table kind of is a mess, as you can see, but it's just kind of utility for whatever we need. Throwing, you know, everything from armies up here to, you know, equipment and gear and pizza and whatever's going on. But it's a mess right now. You can see right now it's covered in a ton of movement trays. I created a full line of 25 and 32 mil trays in a bunch of different styles. Normal ones, strung out ones, you know, with 1-inch gaps all the way, you know, doing specific ones for like Shining Company and that kind of thing. So we've actually had a bunch of interest and questions about those. So I am working on getting those up on our website store. If anyone's interested, they can check that out hopefully soon. Both going to be making available 3D printed ones, as well as the digital files if you want to print them yourself. Then also this just randomly some product out here. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you've seen my bases for, I mean a lot of my armies right now. So Lumineth, Idoneth, these are kind of a baseline I created and actually launched as a Kickstarter earlier this year. So this is just some random products sitting around, but we get questions about those periodically, and you can find more information and kind of about those if you're interested in checking them out on our website. As well as objective markers. These were kind of actually the prototypes for the objective markers that we launched with the Kickstarter. The final ones I actually haven't painted up a set for myself yet. It's like on my long list of to-dos, but haven't gotten there yet. So these ones are obviously still seeing lots of use and making do for now. Talking about 3D printing, and obviously we 3D print all the terrain. I do a lot of 3D printing for work and like the movement trays and that. So I'll actually give you a little look. We have a pretty sweet setup for 3D printing, as again, I do it a ton for work. So this is our 3D printing room. We have, I think, 14 3D printers, mostly the Ultimator 2s, and then we have a couple of larger ones. And the newest one is a Form 3 resin printer. Obviously, we can get a little more high detail out of that guy, and just different tools for different jobs. As a little exciting sneak peek, you can see this is some of the terrain I've started printing up for the new boards. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, our first membership goal, which we're really close to actually, is to get 2 new terrain boards built, set up with new mats, just for a little more variety on the channel. One of the new ones is going to be like an Iran themed one, and that's what all this terrain is for. And then the second one, actually, we're going to let our premium members vote on. So if you're interested in kind of having a say on that and other parts of the channel, you can obviously check out our premium membership. But obviously, these are very beautiful terrain pieces. I can't wait to get them painted up. Again, from our friends at Printable Scenery, working with them on getting a whole range of new stuff coming out. But that's pretty much everything going on right now, especially in regards to 3D printing. But always lots of projects on the go, from painting armies. Obviously, I'm working on getting more stuff done. I want to get all the new Lumineth models done, which is a big thing right now that I'm working on. I'm working on, adding other stuff for other armies. Like I want to get 3 more sharks painted up for my Idoneth. Obviously, if you saw the Idoneth discussion I had with the AOS coach over on his channel, I committed to having 4 sharks in a list with my turtle for kind of a Christmas special episode. So I got to get all that stuff ready. But again, between boards, terrain, everything going on top of obviously my normal work and that kind of thing, it's keeping busy, especially with the editing time. Obviously, you may have seen me talk about it in comments and whatnot, but the editing time on our bat reps is pretty significant. About 8 to 10 hours of editing per episode, which is not the easiest to do, but I can do a bat rep a week to that style, and then trying right now, like our game tonight, to do a couple additional matches that are more full length. So hopefully going to be able to keep cranking up the content, and obviously as the kind of membership side of things grows, with your help, we'll hopefully be able to do even more battle reports and even more kind of weekly games. And really it's just allowing me to dedicate more time away from work into kind of more editing time, because obviously it's a full day, if not more, of editing per video, which is not obviously easy to find that time always. So as I said, we're nearing our first goal for our premium subscription. Obviously with your guys' help, we're nearing that 25 member mark. And that first one, as I said, is going to be expanding to 2 new tables. So excited to get those built and kind of working towards that. Some new setups. I've already ordered new mats, so we have those on the way. Obviously trying to put as much as I can back into the channel, and just continue to improve things and get better and all that fun stuff. Our next goal after the train is going to be actually improving our audio equipment again. As I said, we have the overhead mic that we're using right now for all our games, and we had 2 cheap lav mics, but one of the setups stopped working properly, so we can't use those anymore. So when we unlock our next goal, we're actually going to be investing some significant money into some really high quality lav mics. Again, I got like a cheap $50 set off Amazon, so looking to get something a little more robust and longer lasting, hopefully. So who knows when we'll hit that goal, but when we do, it'll allow us to again kind of upgrade the channel a little bit, and that's what we want to do with your guys' help. We really want to take the feedback that we're getting from all our viewers and our premium members especially, and kind of the improvements that they want to see on the channel, and then setting realistic targets of when we're going to be able to unlock those things and kind of continue to improve and grow the channel. Our premium members actually also gave a lot of input in terms of things they wanted to see kind of behind the scenes from this video. Now, a big thing that they wanted to see was the table, as we did a lot of feedback about that. So I hope, I gave a little bit of a look into how this was actually built. But again, expect a full video about that soon when we build another one, hopefully in the next couple weeks. But the last question that we got, and a lot of people were interested in, was actually learning how the channel started. And realistically, is just felt like kind of a natural progression for me and kind of our play group. I'm obviously a huge Warhammer nut and way too obsessed with the game, and obviously just love playing it first and foremost. And then I have a background with video editing and production and all this equipment that I have from work, which obviously would be a big investment otherwise, but have a lot of this stuff, which really makes it all possible. So yeah, it's just as I was getting into the hobby more and more, again, I played a ton when I was younger, and then got back into it a couple years ago, and I just dove in. Obviously now I'm like working on, armies 3 and 4 and 5, and even have a couple more, started on the shelf in boxes that when we unlock, new army selection, you guys will be able to get to vote on, or at least our premium members, sorry. So just super into it. Really, when I was getting back into the hobby and starting to do events, I really was trying to find content that kind of was tailored towards more of a competitive or at least strategic look at the game. I find a lot of the bat reps, it's hard to get a sense of kind of the decisions people are making and why they're making those decisions and movement and strategy and all that. And I find handheld doesn't really do a good job of kind of portraying that aspect of the game, as well as it being extremely difficult and distracting to like film a game while you're playing it. Anyone that does that style hugely would agree that it's very distracting, very difficult, and it's hard to play like a intense tactical game while you're trying to record. So that's kind of where the development of our style started. Is first and foremost, I wanted a style that wasn't going to impact gameplay or impact it as little as possible. So that's where top-down was kind of obvious for us. Also wanting to show the overall kind of battlefield and where things are moving in relation to one another, kind of maybe why we're making some of those decisions, what we're trying to block or screen or hide from, that kind of thing. And really wanted to take a tactical kind of approach and strategic approach to the game, because that's how I think about it. That's how I approach the game. That's kind of what I enjoy. And I couldn't find the content that I wanted to learn from kind of when I was getting into the hobby. There's a ton of amazing, entertaining battle reports out there, some great channels that have actually been a huge inspiration to me. But while super entertaining, they weren't giving me the knowledge when I was starting to get into events that I wanted. I wanted to see how the top armies or different competitive armies or any army that I might face, how they perform on the tabletop to really help me prepare for events and that. And so the top-down obviously became kind of the big staple. Again, inspired by channels like Honest Wargamer, who loved their gameplay tactical approaches, but also wanting to consider how watchable the game is. Obviously, like I'll watch a 3-hour battle report when I'm painting or something or have it on in the background, but it's not something you can just sit there and watch the full thing. So trying to simplify that was a big goal of mine as well. So that's where, kind of doing the sped up gameplay and turns with the recap at the end came about. Obviously then having the side camera so that you can see us when we're talking, what we're pointing at and explaining and all that stuff. So it was just kind of an organic process of growth. And realistically, when we started, our battle reports were far from polished, and kind of just wanted to get started, knowing that we could improve and knowing that we'll get feedback and be able to improve things and grow and all that stuff. So that's really, it was just diving in right away was the big thing and getting started. And as you guys have seen, if you stuck around for a while, that they have continued to improve, and we're constantly looking at ways to upgrade from, again, the terrain and tables to audio equipment or whatever. So yeah, never-ending process, and always, excited to get feedback and hear what you guys think, and again, any more ideas you might have. But I think that pretty much is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed this kind of like little behind-the-scenes look at the channel, what's going on, what's coming up, and what you can expect. Again, if you're interested in asking more questions, obviously we try to be super active in the comments of our videos, but obviously there's just time restrictions on how much we can get to. But our premium team actually got to kind of put forward some questions and topics for this video. So this is going to be a monthly ongoing series. So if you do want to ask questions about upcoming ones or seeing other behind the scenes or wanting to know more, you can again check out our premium membership. That's really going to be the backbone of our channel moving forward. And we're just excited to see what comes. So with that, as always, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.